If you need to remove your rear seats of your Tesla Model 3 for whatever reason, this video is for you because we break it down every step of the way for the rear seats. Let's get right into it. The front is actually very difficult to remove. The two bolts, it's actually T45, but they're Loctited. What that means is that it's really hard to remove and you need special tools to remove it. So we're not going to be showing you that. However, in the back, it's a lot easier. There's no Loctite. So we'll kind of walk you through step by step, and I'll kind of explain as I go. So before we get started, the first thing that we want to do is the Model 3 is kind of tight. So you want to make sure that the seats are all the way forward. But when you do this part, you have to make sure that this does not hit your mirrors right here. What happens is it will actually break the mirror. And I say that out of experience. I've done that before, okay? So be very careful when you're actually moving it forward all the way. So for the bench, there's actually levers right here and another one right here. And once you release it, and I'm gonna show you a close-up after we get it out, I think that'll be a little bit easier to kind of explain. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. And once you pull it, you see how it both releases really easy. Before you pull everything out, be careful, okay? There are two connectors on the Model 3. This is a 2018. And let's go ahead and remove that first. So just kind of pry it up gently. There you go. Once it's loose, there is a connector right here. There you go. So here's the connector that you'll see. You just push this down like so, and then you pull it. On the other side, very similar. There's an actual smaller cable. So I told you a little bit about how this works. You can see right here. Remember I told you about the lever? This is where it latches in. And when you put it in, this is where you line it up, push it down, and locks back into place, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and gently remove this. Look at this lever right here. So you can see that as I move this way, this is where that U-shaped thing goes in and locks in. So it's a very simple mechanism, and you have two of this. One thing to note is there is a 12-volt connection right here. So when you're installing things like the frunk or, and you need power, you could actually connect it to this. So just be careful around this area. That's why there's this cover. And then there is a high voltage cables running this way as well. So don't just like go in here and like spill a bunch of stuff or anything like that. So just be a little bit careful once you get to this area. So now that I'm on this side, we're gonna go ahead and remove this first. So there is actually a hook that goes into this metal part of the body right here. There's actually a side clip that goes into the metal as well. And then there's a plastic, I guess like holder right here. So the real best way, in my opinion, is pull this down, be careful. And then from here on out, I put my arm right here, and then I pull from the top. There you go. And then you see it unlocks, and then I go up this way, and then this is how it comes out. And just to give you an idea, right here, look at this. This goes into this body right here. And then you can also see this little clip will go in here. So this is a little bit challenging sometimes when you're putting it back. And then this, of course, goes right into this plastic. This is actually free, so it's a little bit moving. So when you're putting it back, just be careful not to damage these clips. So the other side is exactly the same. So let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Boom. Super easy. Easy peasy. So now that we have the side, it actually reveals these two bolts. They're actually going to be 13 mil. Okay, so I have my ratchet. Be careful with this. I usually like to hand loosen first. So when you get to here, I just hand loosen it. They're actually not that tight. And we're gonna go ahead and loosen this clip. Very simple, like the other one as well. Push it down, loosen. Again, it's really good practice whenever you're working with electronics like this is to never pull from the wires and then always pull from the connected area, okay? So once that's done, this should loosen up right here, boom. And then you can see I can pull it away very easily. So you can see where the other seat connected here, and it rests on this little bars right here. One thing is, yes, I could remove all this and then take it apart, but this video for this purpose is how to remove this whole seat really. So we're going to show you the center console area right here in the back seat. This is what we're trying to remove. So first thing is, this is going to be a T45, and just like I did earlier, I'm going to just hand loosen, and it's already loosened. This actually just pops up, and it loosens up. What I like to do is kind of loosen that up and then just pull, and once you pull, this comes out of that hole right there. In our seat cover video, it actually goes all the way in and tucks all the way in, so I'm going to show you how to remove this one as well. This is a plastic little clip that clips between these two metal bars, I guess. So what you want to do is use a trim tool like this and pry it inwards. All right, and then I'm just loosening it up. I'm going to try using this. There you go. So I got it loosened. So notice how once I pried it, it actually just loosened up and came out. And then once that happens, you just kind of move it around a little bit. It will eventually come out. There is an actual clip right here that clips into this right here. You see that right here? So it holds that into place when it goes in. And now I can show you a little bit more closely of what you're doing, right? So you can see that these clips are very thick, and that's why it was so hard. But what we're doing is we're grabbing it and then going inwards, and that loosens this in between those two metal bars right here. So once we loosen it, it comes out. It helps to have a pry or another hand and pry it this way as soon as you get this loose, and then after that, this pops up right away. In order for this to come out, on top of the connector right here and then the two bolts, it's the exact same two bolts right here, the 13. There's actual seat belt right here. The seat belt construction is very, very simple. The main thing is it is a 15mm bolt, and you want to loosen that first, okay? So I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing. Loosen it by hand first, always, and then once I have it loose, and you can see that I have an extension, and that helps a lot. So get an extension if you are doing this. Once it comes out, this actually goes under, and then this is connected, which you don't have to remove it, so don't remove it. This goes into this little slot right here and at the top, and then just the bolt goes over both of those. So once you do that, you can let this go free. So what I like to do actually after I'm done with this is, because I still need to do stuff, is I actually like just taping this area. Why? Because it's actually a little bit sharp, and I just don't want it to damage the seat. We're gonna go ahead and loosen this cable up. This is the same cable right here. And we're gonna pull the white part, not the cable, and boom. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab our 13mm again. So same thing, let's loosen it. There we go. So once you get those two bolts, you wanna loosen it right here at the bracket, and you wanna bring it down just gently, and then you wanna pull towards me. And once you do that, you have it completely loosened. It is heavy. It's probably about 30, 40 pounds. So I was about to finish this video, but Marley was adamant that we do the headrest. So thank her for doing this part of the video. But the headrest is actually interesting because it seems like you just push this button and it comes out, but it actually doesn't. The main thing, I'm gonna try to show you guys right here, and this is actually the same for the front if you are gonna remove it. There's actually a slot right here in the inside. You wanna use a flathead like this, and you wanna push it down into it. And what it does is when you do that is it loosens up, boom, like that. You can see that this does exactly the same thing, but if you get the flathead and you push it through, look at what happens. So you're loosening up that, and then once you release that, it's able to come out really freely. So there you have it. We got all parts of the rear seats removed. If you are gonna put it back, it's the same way. You wanna start with the double seats right here. That way you have this stays, this does not move. So you put it through, and then you can put that down, you put that, and then you just pretty much do it in exact reverse, and then you should be good to go. Please hit on that subscribe button. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. we should probably put some seat covers on this. So we're gonna get to work.